right. So what have we been talking about in reading for 3 whole weeks? I love the participation this afternoon.
You say it all the time.
Because look at you all. Look at all the hands up. Yeah. I love it. You guys are making me so happy. You're being so respectful and you're engaged. And that is what I'm looking for in a student. Engaged, like you're engaged in the lesson. Can you put those in your desk, please? Thank you. All right, Colby. Patricia Polacco. What makes Patricia Polacco so special? Evan.
That she writes about her life when her and her brother used to listen to her grandma's fire stories.
Yeah, she used to listen to her grandma's fire stories, and now she writes them into children's books. Some of them are like fiction stories, right? And one of them was like a personal narrative. Yes, Zach, what else is so special about this? It's okay.
She used to not know how to read, but she was good at drawing.
Ooh, yeah, she was really good at drawing, but she didn't know how to read until she was in 5th grade, right? So that makes her pretty special because now she is an author. Is she only an author? What? She's an illustrator. What is that fancy word? What does that mean? Victoria. She draws the pictures in the books. Okay, so when we start our reading, and do we just like flip open the pages and start reading? What do we do first? Well, before, I'm looking for hands. Before we even open the book, what do we do? Logan. That's okay. Before we even open the book, what do we typically always do? Kendall.
Look at the front cover and the back cover, and it's fine.
Yeah, so we look at the front cover. We like that vocabulary you use. We look at the spine and we look at the back cover, right? Okay, and then what else do we start thinking about? Do we just look at it?
No.
Do we just like, oh, that's kind of pretty. Okay, all right. We make predictions. What else do we do?
I was going to say make predictions, and we can't see the book.
No, you cannot yet, but it's okay. What else do we do? So we make predictions. What else do we do? Zach.
We look at all the pictures and like talk about it and say, hey, this one has a car on it.
And then we try to figure out, is that significant to the story, right? So we look at the pictures on the front cover or illustrations on the front cover. Evan.
Read the book.
Then we read the book, but we start thinking about what's in the book before we even start reading it. Shh. Then what do we do when we're in the middle of the book? Do we just stop thinking about it? Do we just read it for what it is? Addison, what do? We kind of check our predictions from the beginning and we see if they're right. And then we make new predictions. What do we do at the very end of the story? You guys are making me so happy. Ellie.
Check if our predictions are right.
We check to see if our predictions are right. Does sometimes our mind change and do new thoughts? Does our whole thought process change a little bit sometimes? Yeah, because it just depends on what information we learn about the story. So do you know what that process is called? There's a fancy word for that process. We synthesize or synthesis. Have you ever heard that before? Synthesis? Ian, this is like your specialty. Synthesis. When have you heard that before?
I don't remember doing synthesis before.
Is it attached to another word? Have you ever heard it with another? Photosynthesis, right?
Photosynthesis.
What is photosynthesis?
It's when something evolves and grows and becomes an add-on and stuff.
What?
It usually only happens to bugs.
So that's metamorphosis.
It's when a plant absorbs carbon monoxide and creates oxygen.
Woo! It's like he's my science person. That's okay, but there are processes, right? Metamorphosis is a process of a bug becoming like a butterfly, right? It metamorphosizes from a caterpillar to a butterfly. It's a process.
They just sounded similar to me.
They do. And Ian, that wasn't wrong. That wasn't wrong at all. Photosynthesis is the process of the plant making sunlight and turning it into food, right? In layman's terms or in easy terms. Right. So what do you think synthesize means when you're reading? Shh, shh, shh. What does synthesize mean when you're reading? Okay. Shh. What does it mean? So when we synthesize when we're reading, it's just a fancy way of saying it's the process of what we're thinking when we're reading, right? You guys told me in the beginning of the book, we look at the cover, we make predictions. Then in the middle, we check our predictions, make new ones, make connections along the way. And at the end, we kind of put it all together, right? That's called synthesis. That's all. It's reading synthesis. You guys are doing that every time you read, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. You're doing it and you didn't even know it.
So we don't even notice it, but we're doing it.
You don't even notice it, but you are doing it. But now you do know you're doing it. Okay. Victoria, can you turn off the lights for me, please? Thank you. Yes. Shh. We haven't even talked about the title yet. Kendall's got a prediction. What's your prediction? You think, what'd you say? Shh, shh, shh. Ella, put it away. You think, say that one more time.
I think she's going to make friends with the elephant because the elephant's looking for her and she's helping the elephant.
Okay, so you think that, who's she? She's going to be friends with, you think the little girl's Patricia Polacco. Okay, and you think she's going to be friends with an elephant.
And I think her clothes and the title is important because it's not things with color.
Ooh, okay.
What is the title? Her dress is the exact same thing. Is the title.
It is. So Ben just said her dress is the same exact pattern as the title.
And it looks like her socks. No, her socks aren't.
Why do you think Patricia Polacco did that? Do you think she did it on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay, try not to mess with it. Okay, thank you. So why do you think she did that with her hands? Why do you think she did that? Shh, shh, shh. What does the title say? Shh.
Emma Kate.
Emma Kate. Who do you think Emma Kate is? Molly.
The elephant.
You think Emma Kate's the elephant? Cameron, were you going to say the same thing? What were you going to say?
Maybe her sister.
Ooh, so you think Emma Kate's like her sister? Okay. What do you think, Ben? She has a brother, right? But she has like cousins and there's been other family members she's talked about. Maybe.
Or that might be her.
Bless you.
Like her aunt or something.
Maybe her aunt. Okay, Addison, what do you think?
I think it's one of her cousins. And I think she's going to go to the zoo and meet an elephant and they're really going to like
Ooh, okay, you think she's going to a zoo.
Maybe.
Hold on. Raise your hand. Zach.
I think it's her long-lost sister.
Her long-lost sister? Okay. Shh, shh, shh. What do you think?
I think it's her grandma.
Ooh, her grandma back in the day. So, I'm going to read something. Shh. You might totally change your thought process here. Evan, put it away. This is the dedication page. And Patricia Polacco dedicated this to Dr. Seuss and Horton, who is...
Great grandpa's.
Nope, it's not a connection. That way. She likes Dr. Seuss. Who's Horton? Cameron.
It's that elephant from that movie that Dr. Seuss made.
Yeah, so Horton here's a who. Yep. So, to Dr. Seuss and Horton. All right. What do you think the genre of this book is going to be? Do you think it's going to be a memoir about her real life?
Yes.
You do? When she dedicated it to Dr. Seuss and Horton? Maybe.
it's one of her close family friends.
Okay, let's read.
Really close.
Okay. Shh, hold on. Emma Kate is my best friend. We do just about everything together. Who's the narrator? Who's writing this? Who's telling the story? Addison. And so you think the little girl's Patricia Polacco? Okay, yeah.
There's two girls.
No, it's just a mirror. See the mirror?
No.
She's looking into the mirror.
Looks like a TV.
No. Cameron. Oh, Patricia Polacco's best friend. Okay, Emma Kate is my best friend. So you think the narrator's Patricia Polacco? Okay, we do just about everything together. We walk to school together every morning.
Oh.
She sits next to me in class.
Why is this
Yeah,
loud?
Yeah, this is illegal.
With our hands, Thomas.
It could be an imaginary.
So Thomas, his thought process changed. He thought it was Patricia Polacco in the beginning, but now he's thinking, I think that this is an imaginary friend. So who's telling the story? You still think Patricia Polacco?
Yeah.
Okay. And then who's Emma Kate?
The elephant.
The elephant?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have something to
Yes.
Maybe that's Patricia Polacco writing a book about her imaginary friend. And I think
Okay, Emma Kate the elephant. All right. Do you see how our mind has already shifted a little bit? Our thoughts have shifted. We play together at recess. We sit together in the cafegimatorium at lunch.
What?
So they obviously use the cafeteria, the gym, and the auditorium as one place. That's kind of how our gym used to be before you guys came.
My brother used to be here.
Yeah.
He told me that.
Yeah. So the cafeteria there used to not be a gym. It all used to be in one spot. So we used to have a cafegimatorium.
I remember coming here for kindergarten for
What's
the
the
teacher, and I saw that.
Yeah.
But then they modeled that.
Oops, I can't hear because we're all talking at the same time. Yes.
Was the spot not good for anything?
Nope. My classroom was the last classroom, and that was the exit to the building. Yes.
I remember in kindergarten we had art and stuff in there, and then the art room.
Yeah.
Built, and then same with the gym, and then all the STEM, and then music.
Yep. And when you guys were in kindergarten, Mrs. Isola's classroom was all the way down in Miss Porter's room right now.
Is Miss Porter a first grade teacher?
She is a kindergarten teacher.
Where was Mrs. Jackson?
She wasn't here yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay. Well, hold on. Let's get back to the book. When we got home from school, we ride our bikes together. We do our homework together too. Sometimes even on a school night, she stays over. Who's doing the work?
Actually, her.
Who's writing? The elephant. She loves my pet mouse, Gwendolyn.
And then the elephant just throws him in her mouth.
I was imagining.
All right, I'm going to wait. On weekends, Mama drives us to soccer practice. It says Big Mommy. And then it also says Michigan, the state. So like the license plate.
Look at the
Why is that the real elephant? Because it's blowing the tires out.
We take long walks and watch the clouds in the sky. Most of all, we love to read together. What book is she reading?
Dr. Seuss book.
It does look like Horton, doesn't it?
That's a real.
Here, let me zoom in.
Oh. This by
Yeah, that's
It's Horton. It's Horton.
That's a real elephant because Benny the cow.
Oh. I just imagine
One
that.
day, Emma Kate got a real sore throat, and so did I. When we went to the doctor said we would have to get our tonsils out. Have a seat. We're almost
What's
done.
a tonsil?
Your back teeth, they hurt a lot. My sister has a lot.
So we went to the hospital and got our tonsils out. Then we both ate gallons of pink ice cream. Emma Kate is my best friend.
Wait, to get your tonsils flipped out, is that surgery?
We take our baths together, then we climb into bed. Okay, here's the turning point in the story, so really listen to the details. Your minds are going to be blown. Sometimes when nighttime comes and I'm in bed, I tell Mama and Daddy all about Emma Kate and the things we do together. They just smile and say, "You and your Emma Kate, you have such an imagination. Good night, Sweet Pea. Sweet dreams." Then they both give me a kiss and tuck me in. Who's the girl? Who's the narrator? Ella.
Patricia Palazzo.
No, who's the narrator? Look at it. Who's getting tucked in?
Oh!
All right, freeze. Eyes up here. You guys are missing the best part of the book. Okay. Sometimes when nighttime comes and I'm in my bed, I tell Mama and Daddy all about Emma Kate and the things we do together. They just smile and say, "You and your Emma Kate, you have such an imagination. Good night, Sweet Pea. Sweet dreams." Then they both give me a big kiss and tuck me in.
Emma Kate is the girl.
Emma Kate is the girl, and the elephant is the narrator.
Ooh. And I dream of Emma Kate. So you were right. So did your whole mind shift?
Yeah!
So every little thing. Who's the narrator?
No.
The elephant. Shh, not appropriate. Not funny. No one's laughing. All right. The elephant is the narrator. Emma Kate is who?
The girl.
Is she a real girl?
No.
She's an imaginary friend. So some of you were on the right track with your predictions. I want to bring something close to your attention. Okay? So you guys said, shh, eyes up here. You guys said that there was a connection between Emma Kate and the dress, right? Do you think Patricia Polacco put Emma Kate's dress and matched it with the name on purpose? Because who is Emma Kate? The girl, right? But it did trick you, didn't it? Now I want you to pay really close attention to her dress. Still just a dress. And this picture when they're at school, it's still just a dress. They're still at school. She's just wearing a dress. They're playing together. It's a dress. At lunch, it's a dress. Still a dress on the bike ride. Then it's a dress when they're doing homework together. It's a dress when they're talking about the pet mouse. It's even a dress when they're going to soccer practice. But here's where it's going to start to shift. So it's the dress right now. Still a dress. Does it look like a dress right there?
No.
It does though, right? It almost makes you think that she just took off her clothes, like put on a hospital gown, right? So her dress is just over here on a chair or something. Okay. Same thing, like she's in the bath, so it just looks like a dress just like thrown on the countertop or something. All right, what did the dress become? What is now the dress? What is the dress now?
Maybe the blanket she was pretending that she just carries the blanket around.
Everywhere.
Instead of having the imaginary friend, she just pretends like it's an actual person, but it's really not.
Oh, she
Just
takes
her blanket.
The blanket.
She takes that blanket and
Woo!
she
That was good.
in Emma Kate's imagination, the elephant's imagination, she pretends like it's a person, and the person is in the blanket, and so Emma Kate the elephant thinks that
She takes the blanket, so she thinks that the blanket's her imaginary friend, right?
and she thinks it's the dress.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to read you this little sidebar because it gives you a lot of information. So when Patricia Polacco was a little girl, her imaginary friend was an elephant. That's true. Like she really did have an imaginary elephant as a friend. Patricia Polacco when she was little. Fashioned after the main character in her favorite book, Dr. Seuss's Horton Hatches the Egg. So that was Patricia Polacco's favorite book. That's where the elephant came from. She had her elephant. She and her elephant did everything together. They ate together, played together, climbed trees, and fell out of trees together too. Like many of Patricia Polacco's legendary stories, Emma Kate came straight from her own childhood, and this particular story holds a special place in her heart as a homage of her long-lost imaginary elephant friend. Patricia Polacco travels the country sharing her wonderful books and her stories with children and teachers. She resides in Union City, Michigan, and has many goats and ducks, but no elephants, at least not visible ones. So it's based on a true story. She really did have an imaginary elephant, but she flipped the narrator, didn't she? She put it from the whose point of view was the story written? The elephant's point of view. Yep.
I just noticed another thing.
Yes.
So, in the keeping quilt,
Yes.
the keeping quilt was the only thing that was colored, but the dress is the only thing. The dress, the socks, and the bow are the only thing that's colored too.
Right. And the little girl represents like a blanket, right? And so the keeping quilt, so you just made a what connection? Text-to-text connection between the keeping quilt and Emma Kate, because both of them she played with the colors on purpose, right? Patricia Polacco did, to make you visually show that the blanket was special. And she did the same thing in this book. You guys rocked that. Did you enjoy that story?
Yeah.
Good. All right.